We play.
We fight.
We conquer.
Welcome back to the Freak Show. I am your host today, Bumpy Squiggums. The legend of heroes, Trails of Cold Steel continues now. And more terrible things are happening. Yay! Same day, 2:30 in the morning. That was a great meal. I don't think I could eat another bite. After how much we ate yesterday, I'm surprised we were still able to pack away this much food. Well, you're all growing boys and girls, so eat up. Riding takes a lot of energy, so I'd say eating like this is normal after a day out on the plains. Would anyone like more? I should probably refrain. If there's any chicken left, we can wrap it in bamboo and take it with us. Who knows, we might need something to gnaw on while we're out there today. Okay. Let me help too. I'll pour the leftover tea into some containers for you. Ah, thanks. You really are too kind. You're our guest. What kind of hosts would we be if we didn't treat you as such? Anyway, here's the grand list of the tasks you'll be tending to today. Field study day 2, assigned tasks. North Monster. A large unknown monster has been seen around the northern part of the highlands and must be exterminated at all cost. Details are unknown. Southwest area of the northern highlands near a cliff edge. Okay. I figured it couldn't hurt to give you fewer than yesterday. Feel free to take advantage of the extra time to do whatever strikes your fancy. Maybe go off the beaten path a bit. Understood. Thank you again for everything. Do you want to spend some more time with your grandfather today, Elisa? Sounds like you weren't able to spend much time with him yesterday. Wynn stayed in the elder's home yesterday, right? I imagine he ought to be up and about soon. We'd have no objections to completing this morning's task without you if you wish to spend some more time with him. But Lacan, are you there? Elder, yes, I'm here. Oh, good morning. Grandfather? Norton? Morning, everyone. Sorry to intrude. Judging by the looks on your faces, it seems not all is well. I'm afraid you're right. We received word from Zender Gate just a short while ago. They say the Imperial Army's watchtower has been attacked. Wait, what? What? That sounds like it all happened in the middle of the night, and that's not the last of it either. The Republican Army's base has been attacked too. This isn't going to be pretty. That's not good. Same day now at 8 a.m. Uh-oh. The 3rd Armored Division Military Airships Cavalier Glieri. Uh-oh. I see guns. Republican Army 8th Area Division Aviation Regiment Aldebaran. Do they not engage? Lieutenant General Vander. Airborne Armored Division being sent out first, as always, I see. I suppose it's only a matter of time before they give the order to the armored regiments, too. Lieutenant General, we've confirmed the deaths of 2 of the guards. Ah, it sucks. A further 3 have sustained serious injuries, but we've been able to stabilize their condition. I see. Have the medics see to them the second they arrive. Yes, sir. Contact Zender Gate. Prepare the 3rd Armored Division for deployment. I want all armored vehicles ready to move before I return. Okay, now at 9:30. Sucks. Hey, you sure you don't need us to help? I appreciate your willingness, but we'll be fine. And we're used to the procedures for moving the settlement in case of an emergency. Same goes for you guys. I assume you'll be heading to Zender Gate to learn more about the current situation from Lieutenant General Vander? Not as a citizen of Nord, but as a student of the Thor's Military Academy. I will. Will you be staying here, Grandfather? I will. I can use the truck, after all. And since I was here anyway, I might as well do what I can to get the settlement ready to move. Alright, well, please take care of yourself. I'm sorry, Elder Lacan. I feel terrible that I can't help you when you most need it. You have your own job to do. There's no need to worry about us. May the blessings of the winds and the goddess be with you all. Take care. We will. We must make for Zender Gate at once. Indeed, we need to find out as much as we can about what happened. Photographer Norton accompanied the party. The northern reaches of the Nord Highlands are temporarily inaccessible. Oh, oops. Okay, so let's get our hustle on. I assume this is the south. We can't do our mission objective right now. I'm really sorry to put you guys up to this. You already helped me out more than enough yesterday. No problem, don't sweat it. This must be the kind of breaking news every press photographer dreams of being on scene for. Still, it bothers me. How is it possible that both the Imperial and Republican bases were attacked at the same time? Do you think one attacked first and the other swiftly retaliated? Well, there's no time to think about that right now. We need to hurry. We need to get to Zender Gate as fast as we can. Right. Whoa, don't ride too roughly. A lot of strings being pulled. A lot of strings. Alright.
Yeah.
Let's get to hustling. Oh, wait, is there anything fancy going on here that we should be aware of? No. Oh, God. Look at the border gate. There's a lot of stuff going on there. Oh, crap. Alright. Let's get hustling, Reen and crew. Who's... He's not on anyone? Okay.
That's one of the Imperial Army's airships.
What?
This situation is looking worse by the minute. We need to hurry.
Go, 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 go. Okay, hold on.
Yeah! Winds, give us your blessing. My turn.
Ha!
Right. Fire!
Leave it to me. Now.
I'll help. Yeah. Yeah.
Not quite enough. No.
My turn. Go!
I've got you. I can do this.
Alright, get it, Elisa. Cool, cool, cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Crafts, Serene.
Hear me.
I know he doesn't need it. I just want to get the
Thank you.
CP up just in case we need it.
Go!
There's Reen doing the work.
Let's keep moving.
Alright.
Yeah!
Those are armored cars from the Imperial Army.
Damn, this isn't looking good.
10. Oh boy. Huh? Looks like the Imperial Army's 3rd Armored Division. And it appears they're preparing for deployment. Thanks, everyone. Let me go see if I can get permission to start taking photographs. I wonder what Lieutenant General Vander could be. We need to find him so he can tell us what's going on here. I suspected you might show up. There he is. Lieutenant General, did you have some business to attend to elsewhere, sir? I thought I'd conduct another sweep of the area as a precaution. Never mind that now, you came at the perfect time. A freight train bound for Ruhr departs 30 minutes from now. I want you all on board that train. Finish up your field study as quickly as you can and return to the academy. What? But sir... While things ultimately depend on the actions of the Republican Army, the bottom line is that we may be mere hours away from armed conflict with Culvered Republic. I've already informed everyone in the settlement. Did they not relay that message to you? Be that as it may, we can't just turn tail and pretend none of this is happening. Lieutenant General, have you established which side attacked first? Gaius. That's a central question here. It's still under investigation. You have my assurance that the Imperial Army did not attack. We did not make the first move, nor have we retaliated. However, our army's watchtower was destroyed and several guards lost their lives, too. Which is too many, to be fair. As an officer in charge of Zender Gate, I have a duty to act. So there really were fatalities. Let's presume, for the sake of argument, that the damage sustained by the Republican Army's base was in fact deliberate sabotage by their own forces. How bad was the damage? Several of their facilities suffered major structural damage. Their losses appeared to be, at minimum, equal to ours. Honestly, I'd estimate them to be far greater. But if they suffered even more damage than we did, that doesn't make any sense. I'm afraid we've long since passed the point where leisurely discussing our possibilities was an option. I will do all I can to avoid full-scale war, but we're prepared for the possibility of armed conflict, and I suspect that they are as well. That just seems so wrong. If that's your opinion, Lieutenant General, will you at least allow me the chance to investigate what happened on my own? Gaius? Investigate on your own? As I'm sure you're aware, I know the Highlands like the back of my hand. And when someone attempts to threaten the peace of my homeland, I won't rest until I've unearthed the truth behind what's happening. You're serious? We'll do everything we can to help you. I think this falls within the scope of our field study, too. No, wait, this is the people of Nord's problem. There's no reason for you all to stay here and risk getting caught in the crossfire. A classmate and friend is staying behind. Isn't that reason enough? I am a son of the House of Alberea. I would never disgrace the honor of my family name by fleeing in the face of danger. Besides, it seems like your people have done a lot for my grandfather. Gaius, do you remember what you said to us back at Heimdall Station? The most important thing is that we all come back safe and sound. Everything else is secondary. It appears you've lost this one, Gaius. Lieutenant General, It's currently 10:05. I'll permit you until 12:30 to conduct your investigations. I will do everything in my power to postpone any potential conflict until at least then. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Then we haven't a moment to waste. We should begin by visiting the watchtower that was attacked. Sounds like a good place to start. What's up?
Thank you. Really, I appreciate it more than you know.
It's no big deal, honestly. I agree with Elisa. We're classmates after all. And more than that, we're friends.
Well, this is clearly of great importance to you.
I know you want to protect your people, but that's not the only reason you're doing this, is it?
You got me.
Huh?
It ties back into why I accepted the Lieutenant General's recommendation and entered the Academy, too. I'm sure each of you feels the same about your own homes, but I love this land with all my heart. The wind racing across the highlands, the vast mountain peaks, the clear blue of the sky, the breathtaking beauty of the rising sun, the melancholy of the sunset, the twinkling of the stars in the twilight.
You get it, you like your
I love
home.
everything about this land of Nord. It's part of who I am.
Wow. I guess it hadn't sunk in how much Nord means to you.
I'm certainly attached to Ruhr, but I can't think of anyone else who would state their love for their homeland so poetically.
If you love it so much, why did you leave it behind? If you truly love Nord, if Nord is such a part of you, what is it that drove you to enroll in a military academy in a foreign land so far away?
I'm not surprised you'd find it strange, to be honest. I'm still not totally sure what compelled me to do it. Back when I was a kid, the Republican Army built a base in the Eastern Plains, and the Imperial Army responded in kind with their watchtower. It's made me more uneasy with every passing year.
He's pretty quiet.
Years ago, a traveling priest from the Septian Church taught me all about the history of the continent. One thing that stood out to me was just how many lives have been lost during the conflicts between the major powers. Another major theme was just how profound of an impact the Orbital Revolution had on people's lives.
Sure.
Even the concepts of time and distance have changed so much. In effect, the Orbital Revolution shrunk the world.
Yeah.
It made me realize a sad truth, one that kind of scares me even now. That there was no guarantee my homeland could stay at peace forever. That one day, it might be drawn into outsiders' conflicts and be occupied and redistricted into oblivion.
That's
I
not
can't
great.
believe you were thinking about such weighty things even as a kid.
So then, you joined the Academy in order to learn more about the outside world that posed a threat to your homeland?
Yeah, something along those lines. When I realized how afraid I was, I knew I couldn't close my eyes. I wanted to do something, anything, to protect this land. As luck would have it, I met the Lieutenant General. He's the one who told me about Thor's military academy. One thing led to another, he offered me a recommendation. And before I knew it, I took him up on his offer. So there I was, green as grass, heading off to study abroad despite having no clue what life in the Empire was like. Thinking back on how it all came together, what you said is probably what I was thinking back then.
Honestly, I've yet to hear a student offer a more galvanizing reason than yours for enrolling at the Academy.
Fair.
I have to agree. I don't know too many people who love their home so much that they'd leave it behind to find a way to protect it.
It's not a sentiment I can imagine many Erebonians feeling, that's for sure.
True.
But I think I finally understand. Elisa? Just an idle thought. But having heard Gaius pour his heart out to us, there's no way we can just walk away from this.
True.
Not after the people of Nord gave us such a warm welcome and treated us like family. Indeed, I couldn't have asked for more.
Agreed. We'll get to the bottom of what's going on here and stop Ward from breaking out.
Yeah.
Nord may not be our home, but it's still an important neighbor. I'll do what I can to aid you.
Thanks, all of you. Really, thank you.
All right, let's get to hustling, folks. Some seriously dark juju magumbo is going on. A lot of strings being pulled, like I said. You can see shell damage everywhere. It's even worse than I feared. Or confirmed casualties, too. I didn't think I'd ever have to see anything like this. Students at a military academy, things like this are always within the realm of possibility, although I hardly expected my first sight of such devastation to be the spark that ignites war with Calvard. This may be too much for students like us to handle. No, we've all been in situations that looked impossible before, haven't we? And every time we've come through, we just have to stay calm and think, and I'm sure we can do something here too. You're right. True. We should focus on doing what we can. And whatever we decide to do, we need to get a better grasp of the situation. Yeah, let's find out who's in charge and get their permission to start an investigation. I see. Lieutenant General Vander has given you permission. I see no reason to refuse. Thank you. However, I want to make it clear that armed conflict with Calvard could begin at any moment. We've got our hands full staying on guard for any potential threat from the east. I'll permit you to speak with the soldiers here, but don't get in the way of them doing their duties. Understood. Okay, let's get started. We should start by speaking with the soldiers and assessing the damage. It seems wise. When we've gathered all the information we need, we can start piecing it together. All right, let's go. Roan, why'd you go and die on me? Zats? Seems pretty down. Can't say I don't understand how he feels, though. It was right when the shifts changed. Roan came out to relieve me, and I was chattering away with him like always. That's when the first shell hit us. It must have been around 3 in the morning. So it started around 3 then, right in the middle of the night. I was on lookout. I should have noticed something was off. That explosion completely took me by surprise. I was so sure nothing would ever happen out here that when something actually did, I was totally useless. If I just paid a bit more attention, if I'd just been a better soldier, Roan might still be with us today. That's not your fault. None of us could have predicted that something like this would happen. You could hardly blame yourself for a lack of vigilance after being stationed in a peaceful area like this for so long. They attacked in the dead of night, knowing your guard would be down. I wonder if it really was the Republican army's doing after all. We need more information before we can say for sure. No, I don't think it was them. Oh? There was something else that happened before we came under attack. We heard an explosion coming from the Republican army base. When we looked, we saw smoke pouring from it. What? We knew that both bases were attacked, but did both attacks really happen around the same time? If that's so, it's unlikely that either army was responsible. Who is responsible then? We should keep this in mind as we piece things together. Alright, well cool, we figured out one of the first major points immediately. That's good. We need to focus our vigilance toward the east. You have my permission to conduct your investigation and speak with my men, but stay out of the way as much as you can. We need to reestablish our surveillance of the Republican army as soon as possible. From now on, we of the 3rd Armored Division will be stationed here to take over surveillance duties. First and foremost, though, we need to get through a thorough understanding of what's going on here. Yeah, us too. How's the situation with the Republican army? Looks like they're really hustling over there. We've confirmed a number of armored vehicles entering and exiting the area. We've heard their base got hit pretty badly too. And even from over here, it sure looks that way. The Lieutenant General said that the Republican base got hit at least as hard as the Watchtower, if not harder. But we believe they were responsible for that as well. They need an excuse to attack us, and that sure as hell looks like one. Do you really think it's true? That much damage seems awfully excessive. They probably just got overzealous with the explosives. Doesn't make much difference either way. If they're brazen enough to attack us, we'll blow them back across the board. The soldiers here all seem to have their doubts, but without any hard evidence, we're not going to be able to convince them of anything. We should reconsider the possibility that this was a deliberate act of sabotage by Calvard's forces. I don't think so. I keep telling Zatz and Manning to get some rest, but they just won't listen. I can't say I blame them, though. They're the only ones who survived the attack without suffering major injuries after all. Wait. This is awful. It really is. It looks like they got hit hard. I think there were casualties. You know the Imperial Army isn't going to sit and twiddle their thumbs after suffering an attack like this. They have their image to uphold after all. Hey, it looks like most of the damage is concentrated on the south side of the building. You think whoever carried out the attack could have done it from the Highlands? Seems very likely. But where on the plains could they launch an attack like that from? Well, the Highlands are incredibly vast. We need some sort of clue to even know where to start looking. Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to pinpoint something here that'll point us in the right direction. I lost some good friends last night. Still having trouble getting over it. Rowan might have been the hardest working soldier here. Can't believe he's just gone. Please do whatever you can with your investigation. I will. Oh, it's one of the shells. Or bombs, or whatever. Huh? Is this? What's up, Elisa? Is there something unusual about that scrap metal? I knew it! This is a mortar shell manufactured by the Reinford Company. Wait, what? Are you sure? Yeah, I've seen them before on the assembly line. There are only a couple models capable of firing this kind of shell. That would suggest that the mortar used to fire it was also made by the Reinford Company. But if we assume that's true, it seems much less likely that the Republic was responsible. True, why would the Republican Army use a weapon made in the Empire? Doesn't make much sense to me. Even if we account for deception, it seems unlikely that Calvard would go this far to conceal their involvement. Though considering the stakes, we can't entirely rule out the possibility. Still, this might prove to be an important clue to solving this mystery. Alright, I think that's everything that we needed from here. I think that's all the info we can gather here. I think so too. Now we need to analyze what we've learned. First, we should establish a good picture of what was happening when the attack occurred. Yeah, that seems like the best place to start. So first of all, what time did the actual attack on the Watchtower happen? It's 3 a.m. It was 3 a.m. Yes, that's what the guard told us. But that wasn't all that was going on then. That's right, the Republican Army's base also came under attack. According to the Lieutenant General, they suffered even greater damage than what happened here. Well, I think we can safely discount the possibility that the Republican Army bombed their own forces then. There's no evidence that the Imperial Army launched an attack either. All we know is that both attacks happened and both sides took heavy damage. However, as Elisa said, we have no evidence to suggest that either side was responsible. If we accept that as fact, the most likely scenario is that the responsibility lies with another party entirely, obviously. So you think a third party is working behind the scenes to provoke both countries into starting a war? Duh. Tensions between the Empire and the Republic are always high, but compared to other areas of similar political value, the Nord Highlands have always been peaceful. I can conceive of no reason either country would have decided to break that peace last night. I agree. If anything, it seems that the negatives would outweigh the positives for both parties. If this were a crossbell, it might be a different story, but here... Now that you mention it, we found something else odd about the attack on the watchtower, didn't we? Something seems to point to a third party's involvement. Something else odd about the attack on the watchtower? You mean that it attacked from the south? The time it happened, the weapon that was used, the area that was damaged. The area that was damaged. Oh, the weapon that was used? It's a little bit of both. Oh, sorry for interrupting. Anyway, it seems pretty likely that whoever launched this attack was using the Rheinford orbital mortars. Alright, so the attack from the south meant that it was probably not from the army, Republican army. And then also, like, there was two possible answers there. You gotta give me a break. I went with the order of, you know, of where we found the clues, but apparently I was wrong. And I, for one, find it pretty unlikely that the Republican Army is packing Erebonian-made weapons. Indeed, they have little reason to be, considering the Republic has its own major orbital technology manufacturer, the Verne Company, as I recall. Yeah, the Verne Company is responsible for manufacturing most of the arms used by the Republican Army. Then there's the fact that the mortar used here is old. The Imperial Army hasn't used this model for years. I've heard that military surplus sometimes makes its way onto the black market and ends up in the hands of mercenaries. Knowing that, it seems unlikely that either army chose to use it to cover their tracks. Quite. However, there is a far more pressing question we need to answer. What do you mean? I know where you're going. We need to know where the attack was launched from in the first place. That's going to be difficult to work out. But without that vital detail, all of our speculation thus far is for naught. If we intend to avert a war, we need more than speculation. We need conclusive evidence. Agreed. But the Highlands are too vast to just strike out searching blindly, especially with the Lieutenant General's deadline rapidly approaching. Actually, we may not have to search blindly. If Elisa and Gaius will lend me a hand, I may be able to help. Huh? What do you have in mind? If I can factor the location of the damage together with the speed and trajectory of the mortar shells, and then take into account the Highlands' winds, I may be able to estimate the area from which the mortar was fired. Well, potentially anyway. Are you serious? Sounds easier said than done. I'll do what I can. Are you familiar with the specifics of the shell that was used? I think so. It's an old model, but I should be able to give you some rough data. That should be plenty. Anyway, let's have another look at those damaged areas and start our calculations. Please come with me, everyone. All right. Alright, I think I've calculated a rough location. I believe the mortar was fired from a location to the south of here, obviously. Using the map as a reference point, that means it is likely launched from somewhere in this area. Okay. And according to my calculations, the launch site shouldn't be too far from here. Wow, I can't believe you managed to work that out. That's well beyond the level of mathematics we covered in class. I'll enjoy watching Regnitz really sweat it out next, trying to best you on the next midterm. Just a little applied physics. I couldn't have done it without Elisa and Gaius' help. So we've got a nice big piece of the puzzle right in our hands. Sure seems like it. Let's take off and start looking. Right. Raina and the others reported their findings to the soldier in charge and asked him to relay the intel to Zender Gate. Afterwards, they set out on horseback to begin their search. Alright, let's start looking for where the mortar was actually fired from. What Emma calculated is correct. It should have been fired from a point south of the watchtower. And most likely from a point that's easy to overlook, so that it's not found out. Let's see if we can find anywhere that fits that description. Likely need to rely on the map to help us. I wonder if the culprit could still be there. Regardless, we should see what we can find. Alright folks, that's going to do it for this particular episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. We got to see the bad Juju Magumbo happen. And we are hopefully able to figure out what's going on and avert a war. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. Either way, folks, until the very next episode, I've been your host, Bumpy McSquigums. Thank you so much for stopping by the Freak Show. We play, we fight, we conquer.